Hello, I'm Andrew and I'm a volunteer for the Sussex Online Parish Clerks. This video is a basic introduction to spreadsheets, with the intention to teach you the basics needed to begin working on helping to transcribe the census data for the Sussex OPC archive. In the second part of this video, I will show you what options are available to you when it comes to deciding which spreadsheet software to use. For this video, I will be using OpenOffice. One thing to remember is that other software call some features and tools by different names, and may use slightly different methods for carrying out some of the tasks you will see performed, such as where to click when moving in blocks of data. Computerized spreadsheets were originally developed to carry out basic bookkeeping and accounting, but of course today spreadsheet applications have developed into very complex and sophisticated pieces of software, capable of complex calculations and providing sophisticated reports using all kinds of charts and tables. First task then is to load the software. Spreadsheet applications are usually included as part of an Office suite. Here I have OpenOffice on my sidebar, so just click to launch. This will bring me up with the main pane, and here you can see all the various usual Office applications, such as a word processor, drawing, database, presentation software, and of course the one we're interested in, which is spreadsheet software. So just click to open. Just about all spreadsheet software is laid out in an identical way. At the top we have the main menu bar, followed by the ribbon, which contains a number of different icons for quickly selecting different features and functions. We also have a sidebar on OpenOffice, which can be accessed just by clicking on the little tab here. This then gives you a number of other extra features, such as a gallery here, and other bits and pieces. To close, just click on the tab again. Another main feature of the spreadsheets are these two boxes here. This is called the name box, and this is the input line. In Microsoft Office, this is called the formula bar, which is an example of one of the differences which I mentioned about earlier. At the bottom of the page you'll find tabs to navigate between different sheets. So you've got sheet 1, 2, 2 and 3. You can create totally different sets of data and reports on each one of these sheets. So I'll just enter that in, and there we have the 3 different sheets. It's probably now the best time to give you the correct terminology. What we have actually loaded is a spreadsheet application, which not only just works on single sheets, but as you have just seen, multiple sheets. Think of it as opening up a new book, in the same way as a physical ledger book will contain a number of pages and sheets. So we can open up a spreadsheet application and add multiple sheets and pages. So it will come no surprise then to learn that the correct term which we use for this is called a workbook. So when you actually load and save, you'll actually be loading and saving a workbook. Further still, you can load numerous workbooks, obtain data from different sources, merge workbooks and so on. But of course there is no need for you to know anything about that whatsoever at this point in time. So please don't worry or be concerned about any of this, as it's not needed for your transcription work. A useful feature which can be used just on about anything on a computer is to right-click the mouse button to bring up an informational menu pane. I will now show you on these tabs here. So if I click on the tabs, I get a menu option, and we can insert a sheet like so, and click OK, and there's a new sheet, sheet number 4. So we now have 4 sheets. Another reoccurring theme which we will come across are the number of ways which to carry out a single task. So staying on the sheets, instead of right clicking to bring up the insert option, we can just simply click on the bar here and bring up the insert sheet again. You don't really need to pay much attention to what is down here. This is just basically an information bar which provides this various information and data on cells and so on. However, one little useful feature is this magnification bar down here. You can either click on the end bars, plus or minus, to increase the magnification of the sheet, like so, or grab hold of the little slider and drag across left and right. You can also click on this percentage sign to bring up another options box. Then there we have, we can also fit to row and height, or fit to width, and so on. Okay, for the purpose of this demonstration, I will just magnify in a little bit further so we can see the text that I'll enter a bit clearer, and we'll leave it at that, I think. Obviously, data is arranged into rows and columns. Columns are labelled alphabetically and rows numerically. These little boxes are called cells, and cells are referenced by the column letter and the row number. So this cell is C8, this one is B4 and A1. To select a cell, you just simply click in it, like so. Or to move between cells, you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard to go up, down, left and right, or you use the tab key to tab across, or the enter key to come down each row. There will be a time when it will be useful to select groups or blocks of cells in order to do things such as move, copy or change or format styling. First method to do this is to drag the mouse over the cells required. So we can start by selecting the start or a corner cell if the block is required. So we come to B5, hold the left mouse button down and drag across the cells which are required. So here we can drag across a row, or down the column, or select our block. To deselect, you just click anywhere on the spreadsheet. You can also use your shift key instead of dragging. Again, you start with the corner or end cell. This time hold your shift key down and click the opposite corner or end of the cells you require. So click to the end of this row here, that's G, or we can click down to the row there, or click in the opposite corner here to select a block. You can select numerous cells by using the control key. The control key is sometimes labelled CTRL or just CTR, and is found in the bottom left and right corners of your keyboard. So you just press and hold down the key. So just press and hold down the control key, then click anywhere on each cell and you select multiple cells. You can also use the drag method, still keep the control key held down and drag across your selection as required and let go. Now if you still keep the control key held down, you can deselect individual cells within that block and click to deselect. You can also select rows and columns in exactly the same way. Just click on the top of each column, like so, or at the end of each row here. Hold down your shift key and we can select multiple rows, or just do the drag method and drag across different rows. If you're dragging across the columns, you do not have to actually drag across the top here. Just simply dragging across any number of rows, as you there see, will do that automatically. And in the same manner you can use the control key. So here we just deselect different rows like so. If you wish to jump to a cell or select a range of cells by typing them in, then you can use the name box. You may have already noticed that the values change within this box as the cells are selected. Just keep your eye on this box as I now select other cells. To enter a single cell, just type its reference number. So if we go D10, that will now select D10. To enter a range of cells, you just enter two references divided by a colon. So here we have C10, so I want to make a block up to A1. So I'll just add a colon and add the cell A1. And there we go. Now it's time to enter some data into a cell. As we just looked at the name box, we might as well move on to the input line. First we select a cell, then click into the input line and just type something. And notice whatever we type appears within the cell. Press the enter key to commit the changes, or use the little green ticks here to accept. If you've made a complete and utter hash of things, or you just want to cancel, so if we just type that in there, you can either press the escape key, which is marked ESC, or just click the little cancel button here. It will revert back to my original entry. A more common way in which you will enter text is to type directly into the cell. Just click on the cell and start typing. Now you can use the arrow keys or the enter or tab to move on to the next cell and enter the data. So it just goes like so. There is actually a difference between what is displayed in the input line and the cell. The input line shows the contents of the cell, and the cell actually shows the output. Right, so I'll just quickly demonstrate for this. Just going off a little bit path, you don't really need to do formulas or anything, but this just shows you what I've just been telling you about. So we can enter in a little formula by starting to type the equal sign, or you use the little equal sign here. So we can click in there, type equals, and then sum to tell it that we want to add. Now normally you can just use a little plus key to add the different cells together, or you can select a group of cells by doing the drag method. So we click in this cell and we can drag across our selection and select those 3 cells there. Or just simply type in the reference number, which you see highlighted here, C7E7. Close that by ending the bracket and press enter. So here we have the number 69 displayed, which is the sum of these 3 cells. If you look in the input line, you will see the formula. Now if I click in the formula bar, it'll actually show the contents in the cell. And yet again, as I typed before, the changes will be made. Now, I only really use this input line to enter in lengthy formulas or to edit lengthy text. It is easier to enter new text directly into the cell, especially as you can instantly navigate away from the cell and it'll commit the text. So here are we quickly entering a few names. Ooh, if I can type properly, that is. And there we go. And there we have a few names entered. To delete a cell, and I'll just get rid of this quick brown fox entry, you just select it and press the backspace key or the delete key. Again, check the version of spreadsheet software you're using, as different results are obtained for pressing these keys. In OpenOffice, pressing the delete key will bring up the delete menu here, which you can then choose various options to delete. Or you can just press the backspace to remove the text. You can also delete contents using the same method as an edit. To edit, you double click within the cell, and this will take you directly into an edit mode. So I've double click on here. So now you can just make the changes within the cell or within the input line. If you notice, this formula isn't exactly very long, but imagine if there's longer complex formulas taking up most of the screen, then of course it's a lot easier to use the input line, as I mentioned earlier. So you can see the cursor flashing within the cell, and we can just change values as required. So I can now change that to an 8, and I'll change that to an F. But of course we haven't got any data in there at the moment, so it will still remain 69. So then all I need to do is just hit the enter or press the tick here to accept it. And there we have an error because we haven't got any data in the cells. To delete the contents within the edit mode, just select all of the text by highlighting it all, and then just simply press the delete key. The correct name that should have been in this cell is Peter. So we can change this by just double clicking, and there we have the flashing cursor. So now you can just use your arrow keys and backspace to edit as text as normal. So we'll just delete those 3 letters and enter in Peter, and hit the enter key to drop down to the next line. So that's how easy it is to edit data within the cell. Now I will show you how to copy text. If all these people are called Smith, then I only need to enter Smith in once. So I can type in Smith in here, hit the enter key to drop down to the next line. Click on it to highlight it. With the cell highlighted, move the mouse cursor to the bottom right corner until it changes to a cross. Here the corner activation point is marked with a little square. So I mouse over there, it turns to a cross. Now I can click, hold and drag downwards. You can see as I move my cursor over different cells, they are highlighted. Once I have selected the required number of cells, I can let go. One feature of spreadsheets is that it will try to predict what you are typing. This again can vary depending on the settings and application used. So here, if I type an E, as I have Elizabeth, it'll offer me Elizabeth as a choice to enter. I can now accept this in the usual methods, or just carry on typing. But I want to accept it, so I'll just click enter to drop down the row. I also have an entry for Walter and William, but I am offered Walter as it is working to an alphabetical order. Microsoft Office will probably offer you nothing until only a single option is found. Using these two names, that would be an A or an I. So if I type in a W, you can see that change being offered. And of course, we are now overwriting the value that was already originally in the box. So I want to accept Walter, so I'll hit enter. When you come to enter data for the census, this feature will help you immensely improve the speed at which you do enter the data, as you'll only have to type 1 or 2 letters for each entry. And here I can demonstrate. So if we type in Mary, Elizabeth, another Mary, a Peter, a Walter, and a William, another Elizabeth, and a Mary, and another Elizabeth. Of course, this will happen for all columns, so when you enter in occupations, exactly the same thing will happen. So we can just type in Ag Lab for short now, and a Miller, and a Smith. So yet again, I'll be offered an entry to accept. Pressing an A, it's Ag Lab, another drop down, another agricultural labourer, then we have a Miller, and a Smith. Okay, let's just delete all that for now. And backspace to delete, and delete. Spreadsheets will try to predict logical and mathematical sequences. If I enter in January and February into these two cells, and if I copy these down 12 rows, like so, remember, move to bottom right, change to across, click and hold. Now I can drag down 12 rows. It'll automatically fill in all the rest of the names of the month. Delete all these, highlight the block, press the delete key. With this in mind, entering sequential entries can be extremely quick, so I'll just demonstrate that for you. This is how I enter the first 3 columns of the census data. We start off by entering 2 rows of folio number, which is 4 each time, followed by the page number, which we can say is 1, and then finally the number of rows. Now, if you didn't realise, there's actually 25 rows to a page in each census, but we can just write in 1 and 2 here. We just select this whole block of 6 by clicking in one corner and dragging and letting go, or using the shift key, click in one corner and hold the shift key down and press the other corner, and there we have the selection. Now if I move down to the bottom right, again move over till it turns to a cross, click and hold, and now I can drag down 25 rows and let go, and there we have all 75 entries entered in extremely quickly and efficiently. Okay, so going back to the name columns. The census spreadsheet template requires the surname first and the forename second. It is often easy just to switch off and to enter names in the wrong order. So I'll show you the 2 methods to move data. You should be getting used to the idea of highlighting now, so I'll just highlight these block of first names here. Now this part is one of the slight variations between the software packages. In OpenOffice I can click and hold down anywhere in the last cell selected, as indicated by the black outline. Click and hold down my left mouse button, and now I can drag this selection to wherever I want to place it. So I place it into this column here and let go. Another method, which may be familiar to you, especially if you've used editing in other packages before, is the copy, cut and paste. So yet again I'll highlight this column here to Smiths, and I'm going to move it into this column D. In order to do this, we first need to cut the data, which will cut it out of this section here. To cut, we click on the icon on the ribbon here, or click on the edit button here, and there's the other option for cut there. You'll also notice that it brings up a keyboard shortcut of Control X. So that is again yet another option we can do. Right click will also bring up the cut and copy options. There we have cut. So if we want to use the shortcut option, you just hold down the Control key, remember that's the one bottom left marked CTRL, and you press the X key. Now that will cut all the data. So we click on the cell where we want the data to begin. If it's a block of data, it'll be the top left of the block. So I'll click in D1, and now we need to paste. Again, you can either use the paste option on the actual ribbon, which is this clipboard and paper sign, or again go to edit and do the paste there, and we can see from the list that paste is actually Control V. So if I come back into D1, and now I press and hold down the Control key and click V, there we have the Smiths pasted. Finally, I'll just demonstrate how to copy. I'll just copy this column back over to E. So again, I'll highlight the column like so, and this time I'll use the ribbon bar. So to copy, it's this duplicate sheet here. So that's the copy icon. So I can click on the copy, and now it's copied the data. Select its new location where I want it copied, which is E1, and then I'll use the paste option, which is that tab there. So I click on there, and oh yes, it gives up a warning that I'm just about to overwrite data. In this case, it's about to eliminate the number 23. So I can say yes, I am happy to overwrite that to 23, and there we have it pasted. For the next exercise, I'll just delete this column, like so. Okay, so here we have the undo and restore. At the moment, you cannot select the restore because there's nothing to actually restore. But you can use these buttons to correct mistakes that you have made. In OpenOffice, if you click on the restore or undo, it'll give you a list of options to move through. So here we can see that we made a delete, copy, move, cut, move, fill, and input. So if I take the first two, so if I just take the last one and click on it, it'll undo my delete command, and there we have the data back. But of course I really did want this deleted, so now I can go back and do the redo. So if I click on redo, there you go, it's redone it. Hopefully this should be enough for you to begin to confidently enter the census data quickly and effectively. One final but important thing to know is how to save. Again, you can select the save icon from the ribbon, or go to File, and you've got the options to save or save as, and of course our keyboard shortcuts of Control S and Control Shift S to save as. If you're saving for the first time, it'll ask you for a file name, but clicking save after you've entered a new file name, it'll actually overwrite that file. It'll automatically save in the main applications format. So in this case it's ODS. This will save it in the format, which will keep all the different formulas, formatting, and any charts, tables, and so on. So when I load it, it will be exactly the same as I left it. However, there are different options available to you. So if you click on this option bar, some applications may require you to click on the actual arrow. We can get a list of different types of formats that you can save the file as. Here we have all different various options for different versions of Microsoft Excel, and such as HTML. So when you have completed your census transcription work, you'll need to return it as a comma separated value file, or CSV for short, and here we have the option there, text CSV. This will strip out all formatting and everything else along with it, such as only tables, charts, formulas, and so on, and it will just save the file as the basic data separated by a comma. This will enable the data to be read by the Sussex OPC online database. Now all you need to do is just click on this, like so. This is my folder with all my CSV files which I have already sent off and completed. Please just click the save button like so, and that will save it. Okay, so now we get a little message coming up. Again, most software will give you a little message. It just warns you that it's going to strip out all the different formatting. If you're using multiple sheets, it'll also warn you that it can only save one sheet, and that all other sheets will also be eliminated. So we can either keep current format or save in ODF format. We want to keep in the current format because we're happy having it as a CSV. So we click current, and then again it just asks a few things. You can click OK for all this, and then it gives another warning saying that only the active sheets was saved, which is what I said earlier. And there, I think we're finally done. If you wish to have a little play, then go ahead and do so. This is one of the best ways that you can actually learn, is just to mess around and just have a go at fiddling with things, clicking buttons, seeing what happens and what occurs and so on. Don't be frightened to experiment and test something. The very, very worst you can do is probably actually just crash the application. But that is very, very unlikely. So as I say, that is enough for you to be getting on with, to be entering data for the Sussex OPC website. But before you do that, you should actually download a template. You can download templates from the Sussex OPC website by coming down here and finding the Downloads and Templates page. The actual template is near the bottom. Here, there's the 1841 Census templates. You will also be able to download my own template, which is a little bit more advanced and designed to help you with your workflow and to provide various error checkings, as you see here. And there should be a download link in this video. Before you download anything, you may wish to look at the rest of this video and to see what options are available for you for spreadsheet software. That is, if you haven't already got any running yourself. Spreadsheet software is usually included within a suite of Office programs which come as a single package to install. There are some standalone spreadsheet applications available if you desire them. If you thought that I was going to give a detailed review about software and products, then I'm sorry to disappoint you. The truth of the matter is that if you're looking for spreadsheet applications to use for the census transcriptions, then just about any spreadsheet package would do, even if you have an ancient copy of Lotus 123. Reason being is that you only need your spreadsheet software to perform the simple task of inputting data and saving it as a CSV file. I will show you a number of applications to download or work online with, and leave it up to you to make your mind up. If you wish to purchase software, that is your prerogative, but in this current economic climate, most people will probably want to opt for free. If you just want to get on with the job and do not really care what to use as long as it works, then I recommend that you opt for either OpenOffice or Google Drive. If you have an older computer, S-Suite could also be the solution you are looking for. As with all software, you should check if your computer is capable of running the software. If you have purchased a new computer in the past 5 years, then compatibility should not really be an issue. OpenOffice is the package I was using in this video. The website here is openoffice.org, and I will just walk you through the download procedure for this. It's pretty straightforward. Just click on the I want to download OpenOffice link, and we'll be taken to a download option page. Okay, this page offers you a number of different options, such as download templates, extensions, and directories, but the one we're interested in at the moment is this top bar here. So we click on this here, download Apache OpenOffice. This will take you to another download page, and this message download start in 3 seconds, or there's other links to download direct from other sites. Depending on your operating system and browser, the method in which you'll be saving and running your downloads will vary. As I'm using Firefox, I'm now offered to save the file, so I can click Save File, and the download will begin. I can see the download in the top here, and there'll be a little message come up to say that it's download in the bottom. So I can now click on that. This now brings up the download library, and I can just click on the application that's downloaded. So here we have OpenOffice, and we can just click on there to install. This will now run the install file and just go through the procedure and just follow the on-screen instructions. Google Drive is a more basic application, but it is more than good enough to enter the census transcription work. Just bear in mind that you need to have an internet connection to work on this. The other drawback is that you'll finally have to make the leap to create an account with the almighty Google to use this service. If you're using Google Chrome, then the option will already be on your default page here. In other browsers, you need to go to the Google homepage. There. I'm already logged in, so I've already got the options up here to launch the applications. Just click in this little box here, and we've got Google Drive down here. Okay, so I've now actually logged out. If you have not already got a Google account, then you need to register. You can get to the register page by clicking sign in, or just click the U button here, and that will take you to the registration page. Use the option up here to create an account. So this is Google Drive, and it provides you with all the standard Office tools. So if we click on create, and there we can see you can create a Word document, presentation, spreadsheet, form. So interested in spreadsheet, and off we go, and there's the basic spreadsheet loaded. If I go back to the main page, you will notice that I've got a number of files here, and here are my templates which are available for you to download. There should be a link in the video description. You do not have to have a Google account to download these. The next package you might be interested in is S-Suite Office by Van Loo Software. Here you can actually download separate packages on its own, or download the whole Office suite. One advantage of this is that it gives you various different options to download versions for different hardware and for different abilities. So here we have a personal edition, which is just designed for beginners and novices, and is designed to run on lower end systems. So the lowest resolution screen you need is 800 by 600. And going all the way down to a full HD screens and a full Premier Professional Package Office Suite. Again, in the same way, if you wish to download, you click the download links, free downloads, and there's all the various download links to download all the different products. If you have a Mac, you might want to look at NeoOffice. NeoOffice is designed for the Mac, and as they boast, they have different features which are not found in other applications. Again, just select whatever one you want and click the download. You might have noticed LibreOffice, which we'll take a look at next. This is a similar offshoot to OpenOffice and uses the same coding, but is slightly different. To download, just click the round download tab here. Kingsoft offer both commercial and free versions of their products. If we take a look at the downloads page, we'll see here the different options available to you. Here they offer you the option just to download the spreadsheets singly. Click on the links to download. If you really do want to throw money at a product, then the obvious option is Microsoft's Office. Again, there's numerous options, and of course a nice hefty price to go with it. And similarly with Apple, it's slightly cheaper. You can download the iWork for Apple. Okay, I hope you found this video informative. You may also want to watch my other videos, which I'll tell you all you need to know about the 1841 census and the format in which this data should be entered into the spreadsheets. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.